What makes an anime sad? There are a multitude of factors in an anime that can make us cry, whether that be a tragic event, a one-sided crush, or even just the music selection. Anime always has and forever will make us cry. Welcome to Double Dollars, and today we will be listing the top 10 slice of life anime that will make you cry.
ただ淡々と振り切れない影のように
Before we begin, my lists are mainly informative, so if you learn about a new anime, make sure to comment which one it was. Additionally, not only will this list be including normal anime, but it'll also be including a couple of animated movies that some may or may not know of. And, like always, if you enjoy what I make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And with that aside, let's get right into the video.
まだだって来るって言ってたから先に食べるのは
Number 10, The Pet at Sakurasou.
おめでた
してねえ俺は何もしてねえ無実だ
ご飯が
それを先
Sakura Dormitory is a dorm of the high school affiliated with Sumimae University of the Arts. On the outside, it looks like a normal dorm, but in reality, it hosts the strangest, most troublemaking students. After being kicked out of the normal dorm for keeping a stray cat, Sorata Kanda moves into Sakura Dormitory. Mashiro Shiina, a world-class artistic savant looking to become a mangaka, transfers in during the spring trimester and quickly latches onto him. Their silly antics and lack of common sense make everyone's interactions hilarious. This anime is a good all-rounder if you're looking for a solid slice of life. The comedic moments reel you in with positive expectations and then guts you at the end. If you haven't seen this one, I definitely recommend it.
女子が苦手なのですねえどうして
それ以上近づかないソーラン娘必要以上に胸の谷間を強調するんじゃない
あらこれが自然な姿で
Number 9, Hotarubi no Mori E. This movie starts off when 6-year-old Hotaru Takegawa loses her way in the ancient forest while visiting her uncle. Exhausted and desperate for help, Hotaru is thrilled to find a masked forest spirit named Jin. Despite not being able to touch her, he leads Hotaru out of the forest and warns her to never return when she promises to come again with a gift. Paying no heed to his cautionary words, and despite being separated by distance, Hotaru and Gin become close friends as she visits him every summer. However, their relationship and resolve are put to the test when romantic feelings conflict with the one and only rule. This anime is a sad tale of feelings that build up over time, yet can't flourish due to rules. It is a painful movie to watch, yet satisfying at the same time. I definitely recommend this one if you want a bitter-sweet anime. Number 8, 5 centimeters per second.
この先も大丈夫だと思う絶対
ありがとうあかりも元気で手紙書くよ電話も
This movie follows Takaki Tono and Akira Shinohara, who were childhood friends, but due to some circumstances beyond their control, they eventually get torn apart, and although they promise to stay in contact, the progression of time widens the distance between them. This anime is a romantic drama that focuses on the mundane and harsh reality of long-distance relationships. Stuck in the past and unable to make any new memories, Takaki and Akira cling to their hope of seeing each other again. They live their everyday lives half-heartedly, both hurting themselves and the people around them. This movie is a little confusing to understand, so let me break it down. The movie is broken up into 3 parts. To simplify it, the first part establishes the 2 characters' relationship during childhood, the second part follows their life in high school, and the third depicts them in adult society. Keep this in mind while watching and it will make a lot more sense. Number 7, Tokyo Magnitude 8. As the title may suggest, this anime takes place in modern-day Tokyo. We follow middle school student Mirai Onozawa, who is dissatisfied with her family's circumstances. When summer vacation begins, Mirai reluctantly takes her younger brother Yuki to Odaiba, where a robot exhibition that he wanted to go to is being held. However, while they're in the exhibition center, the fury of a major earthquake shakes the Kanto region. Helpless, both kids witness the devastating power of this natural disaster as it brings the city to its knees. In the aftermath, they stumble upon Mari Kusakabe, a motorcyclist and single mother who decides to help the young siblings. Aiming to return to their homes and reunite with their families, the group sets off on a long and hard journey through the decimated city. This anime is such a tragic anime because the events depicted in the anime were based on a real event, the March 11th, 2011 tsunami tragedy. It is a show that reveals what realities we take for granted. It takes the everyday lives of regular people and turns their world upside down in the aftermath of an event that can happen to all of us.
いっそのことこんな世界壊れちゃえばいいのに。
Number 6, Orange.
みんなから伝言。負けるな。約束。ずっと一緒。10年後も。待ってるよ。みんなで。
Naho Takemiya's first day of her sophomore year of high school is off to an uneasy start. After waking up late, she receives a strange letter addressed to her. As she reads the letter, it seems to be from herself, 10 years in the future. At first, Naho was skeptical of the note, yet after witnessing several events that were described in said note, she later realizes that it's really from her 26-year-old self. The note details that Naho's future life is filled with regrets, and she hopes that her younger self can correct the mistakes that were made in the past. The letter also warns her to keep a close eye on the new transfer student, Kakeru Naruse. With the letter as her guide, Naho now has the power to correct the wrongs of her future self. This anime is a fairly deep anime as it touches on many subjects students go through, such as romance, depression, and suicide. Not everything is monotone, however, and the cast find a way out of that hole that many of us fall into. For those who can relate to these subjects the anime depicts, I recommend giving it a watch.
ありがとうバック。私も。
Number 5, One Week Friends.
だよね。
まだ。
まだ。
だって来るって言ってたから先に食べるのは。
16-year-old Yuki Hase finally finds the courage to speak to his crush, Kaori Fujimiya, and asks her if she wants to become friends. Sometime after, Yuki finds her eating lunch on the roof where she secludes herself during break. He decides to start meeting with Kaori every day in the hopes of beginning to understand her better. The more time they spend together, the more she begins to open up to him. However, nearing the end of the week, she starts to push him away once more, and he eventually realizes that Kaori's cold front is due to her memory loss at the end of each week. To be more specific, her memories of those close to her, excluding her family, are forgotten, as they are reset every Monday. Determined to become more than just 1 week friends, Yuki asks her the exact same question each Monday. Would you like to be friends? Because he knows that deep down, Kaori wishes for that more than anything. This anime is a story of friendship and persistence as Hase continuously tries to befriend the lonely girl. The animation gives the show a warm and cozy feel, which adds a lot to the atmosphere of the show.
割れた。
渡した。
友達になってください。
Number 4, I want to eat your pancreas.
立てないよ。私足に全く力入んないもん。だから言ったでしょ。運んでって。
Our protagonist is a bookworm who is deeply detached from the world he resides in. He has no interest in the people around him and is firmly convinced that nobody has any interest in him. His story begins when he stumbles across a handwritten book at the hospital, titled Living with Dying. He soon identifies it as a secret diary belonging to his popular, bubbly classmate, Sakura Yamauchi. She then tells him about the pancreatic disease she is suffering from, and that her time left is finite. Only her family knows about her terminal illness, not even her best friends are aware. Despite this revolution, he shows zero sympathy for her situation. But, caught in the waves of Sakura's persistent buoyancy, he eventually concedes to accompanying her for her remaining days. Her apparent nonchalance and unpredictability disrupts the protagonist's impassive flow of life, gradually opening his heart as he discovers and embraces the true meaning of living. As off-putting as the title makes it seem, this anime is a painful one to watch. Not because Sakura's time will come, but when her time will come, because we the viewer know she will eventually go. It's just when and in what situation she will go that makes it so suspenseful, yet sad. Another solid movie that made me cry, and I feel that a lot of people don't know of it.
君は本当に死ぬの？
死ぬよ。
Number 3, March comes in like a lion.
淡々と。振り切れない。影のように。
Having reached professional status in middle school, Rei Kiriyama is one of the few elites in the world of shogi. Due to this, he faces an enormous amount of pressure, both from the shogi community and his adoptive family. Seeking independence from his tense home life, he moves into an apartment in Tokyo. As a 17-year-old living on his own, things didn't go well as Rei tends to take poor care of himself, and his reclusive personality ostracizes him from his peers in the school and at the shogi hall. However, not long after his arrival in Tokyo, Rei meets Akira, Hinata, and Momo, a trio of sisters living with their grandfather who owns a traditional wagashi shop. Akira, the oldest of the three girls, is determined to combat Rei's loneliness and poorly sustained lifestyle with motherly hospitality. The Kawamoto sisters, coping with past tragedies, also share with Rei a unique familial bond that he has lacked for most of his life. This anime is a whole roller coaster of emotions, not just for Rei, but also for the viewer. We watch as he struggles to maintain himself physically and mentally through his shogi career, yet at the same time he must learn how to interact with others and understand his own complex emotions. A really solid anime to watch if you want to be hit in the feels.
彼女の学校での現状を思えば、この旅行の2泊3日が相当苦しいものであることは容易に想像できた。
Number 2, Violet Evergarden.
愛してるでよろしいでしょうか。
はい。
愛してる。
After 4 long years of conflict, the Great War reached its end. The continent of Telis is slowly beginning to flourish once again after being split in 2. We follow the life of Violet Evergarden, a young girl raised for the sole purpose of decimating enemy lines. Hospitalized and maimed in a bloody skirmish during the war's final moments, she was left with only words from the person she held dearest, but with no understanding of their meaning. Recovering from her wounds, Violet starts a new life working at CP Postal Services after a falling out with her new intended guardian family. There she witnessed, by pure chance, the work of an auto-memory doll. a person who writes people's thoughts and feelings into words on paper. The soon-inspired Violet begins work as an auto-memory doll, a decision that will reshape the lives of her client and hopefully lead to self-discovery. This anime may understandably come across as odd due to the monotone way in which Violet addresses other characters. This may be off-putting to viewers, but from what seems to be an ordinary show with a simple premise, rises one with humanity and heartfelt emotion. If you have the patience to give this anime a couple episodes, I promise you won't be disappointed.
いつかきっと見せてあげるね。お父さん。
Before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions that are really popular, but were a little too mainstream to take a spot on the list.
どうしたの？そんなに痛かった？
いや、
Starting off, Your Lie in April.
もうすぐ4月が終わる。
Anohana.
メンマ。
メンマじゃないよ。ぬいぐるみとこけしの妖精だよ。なんて嘘です。正解はメンマでした。
正解はって。
Angel Beats.
事故死とかだったら頭もやられるから。
じゃあ証明してくれよ。俺は死んでるからもう死なないって。
Grave of the Fireflies.
あ、兄ちゃんの顔見えた。
節子の顔もや。
And Clannad.
模様の胸は取り外し可能ってことだよ。
外せるわけないだろ。
あ、いや、
そもそも
そもそも。
おっぱいを使う授業があるぞ。
And finally, number 1, A Silent Voice. As a wild youth, elementary school student Shoya Ishida sought to beat boredom in the cruelest ways. When a deaf Shoko Nishimiya transfers into his class, Shoya and the rest of his class thoughtlessly bully her for fun. However, when her mother notifies the school, he is singled out and blamed for everything done to her. With Shoko transferring out of the school, Shoya is left at the mercy of his classmates. He is heartlessly ostracized all throughout elementary and middle school, while teachers turn a blind eye. Now in his 3rd year of high school, Shoya is still plagued by the wrongdoings as a young boy. Sincerely regretting his actions, he sets out on a journey of redemption to meet Shoko once more and make amends. This anime tells the painful yet heartwarming story of Shoya's reunion with Shoko and his honest attempt to redeem himself, all while being continually hunted by the shadows of his past. The events that take place build up the climax perfectly, and the resolution is very satisfying. This is a movie you have to watch if you haven't already. Like, no questions asked. Hey everyone, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Like always, if you liked the video or my content in general, make sure to like and subscribe to keep up with future uploads. And with that aside, I'll see you later.